So we have done a simple cleaning of our data, and now what we want to do is to visualize the data in a meaningful and analytical way. But to do so, we need to know what metrics we want to display first. And to basically get to that point of displaying the metrics, we have to craft problem statements. So let's start with the first problem statement. Which stores are generating the most revenue and how do they compare in terms of sales volume and contribution? So for our case, to answer this problem statement, we want to display the total revenue, we would like to display the units sold, the revenue per store, and the revenue contribution percentage relative, which is like relative share to each store. So problem statement 2. Which product categories are performing well and where should we focus our marketing efforts or inventory efforts? To basically answer these questions, we would like to display certain metrics, and these would be revenue by category, units sold by category, and revenue contribution by category. The next problem statement would be, is discounting actually driving higher sales or just reducing margins? The metrics displayed would be revenue by discount bracket, discount versus units sold. Lastly, the fourth problem statement, how are we performing over time and what are our peak days? Metrics displayed would be daily revenue trends and top 5 revenue days. So problem statements are not just isolated when it comes to just sales data. You can do problem statements for any form of data. And from those problem statements, you have to craft metrics that answer your problem statements. And this is what we'll be doing in our dashboard. We'll be showing our stakeholders or maybe like managers or something certain trends, and these trends or metrics will basically answer their questions from the problem statements. Alright, so let's get started on the actual dashboard creation. First, we'll load in our dataset. Take a quick look at it. No missing values, everything looks really clean. Alright, send it. It's gonna take a while. Alright, okay. Clean dataset. Okay, let's get started on our first problem statement. And that would be, actually what is it? I kind of forgot. Yeah, it would be which stores are generating the most values, how do they compare in terms of sales volume and contribution. So this basically sets up our overall KPIs. We'll first do a overall KPI, let's do a card. Where is it? Yeah, okay. Let's do this, a card. Okay, let's look at this. Okay. What should we do for this? For our card, let's display total revenue. And to do a total revenue, we will be creating a new measure, and we'll call this total revenue. Revenue, yeah. And that will be equal to the sum of our clean data sets. And okay, this part is basically like data set, and the next one would be the columns. Which column are we using for total revenue? And that will be the sum of revenue, basically. So let's just add this in. Alright. Do this and we would have a, yeah, there it is. Alright, total revenue 602k. Done. This is our first KPI. Okay, where is it? Effects, background, title. Let's just call this total revenue. Make it centered, make it look nice, yeah. Let's increase the font to maybe 20. Alright, beautiful. Okay. Data format. It should be a currency. So, yep, there it is. Beautiful. decimal place. Let's put it to 2 decimal place. Actually, no. Let's put it to 1 decimal place. Okay. This is the first of our metrics that we'll be displaying. Okay. Next one would be, let's think about this. Total units sold. Okay. Total units, same thing. Let's display a card. Where, gee, oops. New visual. And visualization type. Let's put this card. Okay. Total units sold would be basically, same thing. Let's do a new measure. It would be, let's call this total units sold equals the sum, sum of our data set and units sold. Beautiful. Okay. As you can see here, our new measure is displayed here, and we would implement this. Okay, now our total units sold is 83K. Same thing, let's just beautify it. We'll go to title, turn it on. Let's call this total units sold. Sold. Center it. And font 20. Okay. Okay, for our our last metric for the problem statement 1, let's do average revenue per transaction. This would be a bit more complicated for DAX measures. Okay, let's start. Average revenue per transaction equals to divide divide the total revenue total revenue count the rows, clean dataset. Zero. And okay, let's see if this works. Average, yes, okay, nice. And we'll do new visual. Card, where's the card? Average revenue, nice. So these are the essential KPIs that we'll be displaying. Pretty useful for those corporate dashboards that you want to do in the future. These are overarching stuff. So basically, it's like a summary of what's to come. Okay, it looks pretty bad right now. We'll beautify it later. So you know what? Let's just do it now. Okay. Effects. For the background, let's make this blue. Yeah, we love blue. Visual border. Yep. So we make everything uniform. Blue. You can use any color, by the way. It doesn't matter. Visual border. So we can line them up nicely. Actually, you know what? Let's make this a bit bigger. Oh, I forgot about this. Title, turn it on. Average. Okay. Center it. Font 20. Okay, nice. So let's move on to uh, hmm. Let's move on to problem statement 2. And we talked about it. It is which product categories are performing well and where should we focus on marketing or inventory efforts. So let's start by revenue by category. How do we do that? Let's do it via a bar chart. Okay, new visual. Hmm. Yeah, let's just use a cluster bar chart. No difference. Actually, there is a difference, but same. What do we do? What do we do? Okay, let's just use total revenue. Where is total revenue? Total revenue against store ID. Now we can display the metrics such that we can see how much money each store made. Yeah, it's pretty alright. Okay. As you can see, it's not very obvious what the difference is. So what we can do is that we can move our x-axis a bit further up. Let's change the minimum to maybe 60,000. Alright. Okay. Actually, no, that's not very good. Let's do 80,000. Yeah, this is much better. It's more clear. We can see the difference between the stores. Okay, this is total revenue by store ID. We'll just change this up later, it doesn't matter. This is just like a tutorial. We're not really trying to beautify this thing. It's a very simple very simple dashboard. Next in our problem statement would be the revenue contribution percentage by store. Let's switch things up a bit, make our dashboard a bit more interesting. And we're gonna use a new visual. And let's just use let me think. Let's use a donut chart. So this basically highlights how much each store contribute to the whole. Is great for identifying over or underperformance in context. So to do this, we need a new DEX calculation. Let's just use new measure. And what should we call this? Let's just call this revenue contribution equals divide. No, I should make this divide total revenue. Oh, whoops. Total revenue, and we calculate total revenue all of the clean data sales. Okay, hopefully this works. Okay, let's see it. And then store ID. Yeah, much better. So we can see like the percentage of how much people are contributing. Yeah, right now it looks pretty bad, but we will beautify it right now. Okay, where is it? General data format. Okay, there it is. Percentage. This is so much better. Let's move it up to 0 decimal places. It's much cleaner. We can see like which stores are performing well, which stores are not. In our case, everything is pretty much almost uniform because it's a data set generated by ChatGPT. You can't really expect much from it. Okay, let's make room for our other visualizations. Okay, so next would be units sold by category. So what should we use for this? Let's just use a stack column chart. Same thing. For this one, we don't really need any new calculations because we can already use the old one, so it doesn't really matter for us. Let's make this fit. Okay, column chart, stack column chart, same thing. Total units sold against category. Remember. Ooh, okay. Yep. So basically here, we use this to assess which products categories are moving in volume. So high sales don't usually always mean high revenue. So we gotta see, how much each one made. Okay, just make this a bit, squeeze this a bit more. Okay, next one, actually, let's make this smaller too. Oops. Okay, next on our agenda would be revenue by category. Wait, have we done that? Yeah, okay. So we'll do revenue by category. Let's change things up. Let's do a new visualization. What is a good visualization? You know what? Let's just go back to let's just use back the stack columns. Oh, oops. No. New visual. Stack columns. Actually, wait. Let me see. What else can we use? Oh, we'll figure this out later. Okay, total. Wait. Hey, let's use total revenue against category. Ah, okay. This is something interesting. So, that's not what we said was. High volume does not necessitate high revenue. As you can see here, home in this category actually sold less than electronics. However, its revenue is not significantly, it's actually higher than electronics. So, this is something that we learned. Okay, next one would be, let's think about this. Alright. Had a little bit of a hiccup. I just realized that it defaulted to sum for some of our data columns. That's a big no-no. Alright, so let's continue. Discount percentage versus unit sold. Smooth this here. Unit sold. Oops. Okay. Oh, whoops. I see what the problem is. Our data is like way too uniform because we cleaned it just now. So yeah, these kind of things can happen. So you can. Oh, whoops. It's not a very good representation. So yeah, the problem here is our data is like way too uniform. Remember, it's made by ChatGPT, so our discount percentage are in like whole numbers instead of like decimal places. It doesn't have any decimal places, and everything's basically uniform. And same issue with, you know, um, yeah, it's basically like I think it's a balanced bias. What we're looking at here is not very good, but it just shows like the drawbacks of having synthetically generated data, which is not very well done. Okay, never mind. We'll move on. We'll move on. It doesn't matter. But just make sure that, in a real world context, this one will look more like a scatter chart instead of like this thing right here. Okay, let's move on to daily revenue trend. So we want to see a trend across dates. So what we like to do is to create a line chart. Oh, screw it. Never mind. It's fine. Let's go back. Yeah. New visual. And we'll take a look at the trends across dates. See total revenue against the date. Alright. Now we can see the peak and the bottom. So, this is just a very quick overview of what dashboarding is about. Yeah. Oh wait, let's create a slicer too. So, aha. So what would be in our slicer would be, let's go category. Oh, let's see how bad this is. Ooh, it's not very good. Let's drop the date. Have a category. Let's do another slicer. So slices basically make our dashboards interactive. They allow stakeholders to zoom in on specific time periods, locations, or product groups. Hey, let's go time, date. Ooh. Okay. Year. I'll take a look at this later. It's fine. Have a small hiccup. Actually, let's delete this first. Remove. Date. Change this to a slicer. Where's a slicer? Table slicer. Okay, there it is. Okay, it looks horrible, but you know what? For the sake of this assignment, we'll keep it simple. Yeah, nothing much to go on by. Well, let's do a new visual. And lastly would be store ID. Gosh, my goodness. There it is. Nice. So let's just play around with this. Gadgets. Yeah. Allows us to zoom into different categories, make insightful analytical decisions and stuff. Yeah, I think that should summarize what we are doing here. So basically, in summary, dashboarding isn't about visuals, it's about making data usable. The purpose of a dashboard is to give your stakeholders a clear interactive view of what's happening in the business. And this goes to show that it also like shows them without needing to read a report or dig into raw data. So a good dashboard answers like some questions: how are we performing? What's working? Where are the problems? So it does this by combining clean data, uh, combines clean data, relevant metrics, and thoughtful visuals. We use KPI cards for quick snapshots, charts for comparison and trends, and slices to give users control. Every visual we build serves like a specific purpose to explain, compare, track, or explore. While ultimately, dashboarding is about turning raw data into decision-ready insights, which are like fast, clear, and focused. So, thank you for sticking around with me. This is okay, it's not a complete dashboard, but it gives you like an idea on how to dashboard and what metrics you're supposed to display on the dashboard. All right, thank you, and that's all.